Okay, so here we are trying something new. Um, Welcome back to the Dung Pod. Um, I This is the second episode, and today I was thinking of maybe talking a little bit about one of the first things that you kind of run into. At least I ran into when I was in Japan. I think the first noticeable things that you think about is, of course, language and food. Two pretty important things. But I guess language-wise, some people say, how long does it take to learn Japanese? Obviously, that depends on the person. But for me to get comfortable, I guess it took about 4 years. But you kind of pick it up as you go along, and you just takes time. Everyone's different, I guess. Um, Obviously, it's how much you interact with people and stuff like that. I think it's the same almost anywhere in the world. The same way, I guess. After about 10 years, I got pretty much independent. I could do a lot of stuff, especially speaking wise. Um, I'm still actually not that good at reading and writing, but as far as like everyday life goes, I mean, I kind of you, after about 10 years you pretty much do stuff on your own, almost everything, including like banking and shopping and if you need to get some documents done or something at the, government office, the city hall or something. You kind of can do a lot of stuff on your own. Basically, because if you don't know or you can't read it, you can ask someone for help and you can explain yourself a lot better. So after about 10 years, after doing some things on my own, I could, repeating a few things, I got to be able to do them, identify the written language. And oddly enough, even though you can't read it per se, say the phonics of the word, you know what it means in your native language. So you go to the bank and oh, well, this, go to the ATM machine, you say, oh, well, this little group of letters means to withdraw. This little group of letters means, input deposit. So that's kind of how you do it at first, and then after a while, you learn how to read it. But yeah, I think it takes, if you're really into it and you like the language and things like that, I think it takes less than that, probably. But I didn't really go to any formal Japanese school. I studied on my own mostly, and I did have some private teachers when I could afford them. I kind of took like a private class every, once a week or twice a week or something, and like a tutor, and that helped out a lot. But probably the best way was, of course, to jump right into life and to get some kind of job and make friends and maybe even have a relationship with someone, a close relationship, because that really helps with the language. Of course, you want to express yourself a lot, and you really want to try hard to express yourself to your partner or to your friend. Um, it really, it puts more of a drive in you to get it done and to learn the language. But I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can study on your own. There's lots of YouTube and apps and various things that you can learn if you're not, that outgoing or you're not interested in that kind of thing. But and that's just how I did it. Now, one of the first jobs, I think the first real Japanese job that I had was in Tokyo, and I worked at a gas station, at a full service gas station. It just pumping gas, changing oil, cleaning windows, just stuff like that is what I did. And I learned a lot about the language because you have to repeat like the same things. Every customer that comes, any service job is like that. You kind of repeat stuff like, "Oh, good afternoon. How can I help you?" And then you have to be able to understand what they want. They'll give me, 2,000 yens worth of gasoline, regular, or give me a full tank, or, can you change the oil? Can you check the tire pressure or something like that? You pick up various vocabulary by doing that um, job. And of course, if you get in a kind of get in an awkward situation, you just kind of ask someone, "I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can you help me with this customer?" And they'll kind of take over for you or something, and or explain it and stuff like that. So at least in my case, that's basically what happens. And like almost any place in the world, to get like an office job or something, you're going to have to be able to speak and write um, the language there. So, you need to answer the phone, and you have to answer emails, and you need to make documents, stuff like that. You're pretty much going to have to know some Japanese a good bit. Um, so you got to kind of build up to that if you're not, everyone has got their own pace, their own things that they want to do, and you just kind of, like I said, you just kind of jump in there and do it. I think most people will do that anyway, but some people want to study a lot before they come, or they want to go to school, learn Japanese, which is great. That's good if you've got if you've got the money. I say do that too. That's a great thing. And let's see. Yeah, there are three. Basically, there are three alphabets in Japanese. There is the kanji, the one with all the little sticks and lines, and that looks quite complicated. And it's like Chinese, same kind of. They look kind of similar. And then the Japanese have what they call hiragana and katakana, which phonically are the same, but you can write phonics of a sound in two different ways, katakana and hiragana, but they're used differently, and you mix the kanji with the hiragana, and at times the kanji, the hiragana, and the katakana. So I'm sure maybe you have checked out some of this stuff. Like katakana is used for like words that aren't originally Japanese. They're like borrowed words that you would use, English words. Um, and kanji is used for more like traditional grassroots kind of Japanese words, but and hiragana goes together with that. I if I'm not mistaken, when I look at Chinese writing, it's pretty much all of the complex kanji, and it's kind of a lot of lines, a lot, a lot of characters, complex characters in there. But Japanese has like some kanji, and then it's got a few of those uh, simpler alphabet. Like the hiragana is more in a curve, written in curves in individual letters, where the katakana is built or written or created with straight lines, individual lines. It's not like connected together like cursive or anything like that. It's kind of like separate. Each letter is separate, like the alphabet kind of deal. So it's good to learn those. For me, everyone said, hiragana is good to learn first because, like, sometimes they'll put like hiragana like written over top of the kanji on the top of the kanji, so that you can if you can read the hiragana, then you don't have to read the kanji. You can just read the hiragana that's written above it. It's kind of like simplifying the writing. But that, for me, I learned hiragana first, along with some simple kanji, and katakana was also kind of in there. But I didn't like go for this full-on learning all the difficult kanji first off. I kind of worked on working my way up from the simpler hiragana and some easy kanji. And yeah, it helps maybe to do it in that pattern and have people help you with it. And there, of course, there are lots of apps and YouTube videos that you can watch, podcasts you can listen to. I think that helps with that nowadays. But anyway, also, what I want to talk about was Japanese food as well. Now, basically, I had no problem with any of the food when I first came here from the get-go. Um, their uh, their food consists of a great deal of plain white milled rice. It's just a bowl of rice that they a small bowl of rice. I wouldn't say a small bowl, but about a cup of rice, and then something else like fish or some type of fried food or some type of chicken or vegetables. But basically, basically you have to eat a large amount of this rice together with this food. Well, it's all food, but with the other main dish, where I was more used to eating like less rice like that, like a bunch of meat, potatoes and carrots, and some pasta, and I think it's a calorie thing. I say, oh, Japanese people aren't big and they're not overweight. Obviously, there are people like that, but on average, they're not. And I think that's because the white rice, they eat a great deal of this white rice with each meal, and um, it's like, I don't know, carbohydrates, and it goes away. It doesn't stay on you that much, I think. And that, I don't know whether, I mean, the food is healthy and everything, but I won't say it's high calorie or it's low in protein. I feel. I could be wrong though, but compared to the food that I eat in America and grew up eating in America, of course there are lots of different foods in America as well, but I ate just some basic country kind of food, and it was very earthy, very heavy. Had a lot of calories to it, a lot of protein, a lot of animal protein, and heavy vegetables, and so I think that's one thing that's different. Of course, the sugars too, things that you would assume to be sweet. I assumed to be sweet. When I tried them, they weren't very sweet compared to what I was used to. And I like sweet stuff. And yeah, they don't. The food to me isn't very strong flavored. It doesn't have a lot of salt flavor. It doesn't have a lot of sweetness. It's not really that bitter. It's not really that sour. It's kind of plain, calm, easy to eat food. And I think it's that makes it healthy and good for your body and good for your digestion and all that. But one thing I will say though is the beer is interesting because the beer seemed to be really strong and full flavored compared to like the beer that I had tried while living in America, especially light beer. Light beer didn't seem to American light beer didn't seem to have that much taste to it compared to like after drinking Japanese beer, a full-bodied Japanese beer is is really a contrast to the food, which I'm assuming that's because beer is not really a Japanese food originally. So I guess that would be why um, the great difference in it compared to the food. But anyway, basically, yeah, the language and the food are obviously things that you're gonna really notice right off the bat, which is anywhere if you move anywhere, even in your own country, it's going to be the language, the food, the accent, stuff like that. It's pretty basic common sense kind of thing when you think about it. but anyway, it's quite different when you move to perhaps a different country that has quite a different type of food. But that's one thing that I did notice. But anyway, that's just the tip of the iceberg on some stuff as far as language and food go. And I got a list of stuff that I kind of want to talk about over the next podcast if I can keep it going. I was hoping to do that anyway. And but anyway, if there are any questions or anything, let me know. And I'm trying out this new way to do it because I'm a big PS4 player, and this simplifies the whole process for me. If I can use basically the same software and the same setup that I use for gaming. So I'm trying this out. So we'll see how this goes. It seems to be easier than the other ways. I guess we don't have to be like a traditional kind of podcast. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that. It can be anything, I suppose. So anyway, I'm just kind of working with it. I'm going to see what happens. And I guess that will do it for this one. Thank you for listening, and I hope you tune in again. Goodbye.